Now that I finished a game on Unity, it's finally time to start making new games using everything that I've learned with this engine, right? Right? Hi there, I'm Vinny, and welcome back to my game dev journey, the series of videos where I'm showing you guys my process to become a game developer. As I showed in the last video, I finally finished my game using the Unity engine, and now I have total liberty to start new project and continue improving my knowledge. But before that, there is one little thing that is bugging me, a little doubt should I say, and it is, am I using the right engine? Choosing an engine is one of the first steps to start creating games. That is if you're not planning to create your own engine, of course. But this involves a lot of patience and programming knowledge beyond my comfort zone, so I had to choose between the many available engines to start creating games. One thing to have in mind is that there is no better engine. The best engine is the one that works better for you. Said that, how can I choose an engine to start learning game developing? So my decision stayed with the engine that is more popular and more used in the game dev market, and this engine is definitely Unity. Unity is by far the most used game engine, and consequently the one with the bigger community, so it's the engine with the biggest amount of content, documentations and solutions. For a beginner, those are really good attributes. That's why I chose Unity. And it was a great choice. I had a lot of material to learn this engine, a lot of tutorials and courses that made it way easier to learn how to create a game. Using a new tool is always challenging, but overall I really liked how Unity and its interface felt, and I started to get the engine logic in no time. But there is one engine that I've been hearing about more and more, and it is the Godot game engine. Godot is a game engine that exists since 2007, but since 2014 it became open source, meaning that anyone could contribute with improving the engine. This made Godot become a game engine made by and for game developers. But Godot really started to gain more strength after the 2024 Unity crisis. If you don't know, Unity is a free-to-use game engine until you decide to publish a game made by it. Then, you would need to pay a signature to have a license to make money with the game. But in 2023, Unity was looking for a new way to charge for its engine, and the solution was to create a runtime fee. This runtime fee would charge the developer by each game download after reaching a certain download mark. Of course, this was a terrible idea, making publishing a game way more expensive, principally for popular games. Needless to say, the entire Unity community didn't like that. So much that Unity even decided to go back from this strategy in 2024. But the trust of many developers was already broken, resulting in a massive engine migration. And that's when Godot started to get a lot of followers. And when I say followers, I really mean it. People liked Godot so much that they created almost a cult-like admiration for the engine. And since then, the engine started to get stronger and stronger. Anyways, I'm already satisfied with Unity, but all this made me very curious to try Godot, and that's what I decided to do this week. So, the first thing to do is to open the Godot engine and start a new project. And what now? Well, it kinda looks like the Unity interface a little bit, but it definitely different. So I think I need to go check the Godot docs on their website. So I opened the docs and look at here, they have 4 different tutorial levels for beginners. Well, I already know how to make a game, so I guess I'll go with this option. The first step in this tutorial is to simply create a hello world using a node. This is the most basic stuff in any kind of programming software, but it can't be overlooked. People say that every time you use a new programming tool or language, the first thing you need to do is a hello world, or else it will bring bad luck to your projects. I'm not superstitious, but I don't want to take any risks. The second step gives you a project showing how the architecture of Godot works, and is it right here where things start to get more interesting. The architecture of Unity is based on a game objects and components, which is great for bringing flexibility for bigger projects, but it's kinda hard to understand, especially with big projects, where it can become a mess if you're not structuring your whole project right. Now in Godot, the architecture is based in nodes and scenes, where nodes represent specific functionalities like sprites, physics, cameras, sounds, and stuff like that. While scenes is a hierarchy tree of nodes. In other words, is a bunch of nodes that compose more complex things in the game, like the player, enemies, interface, etc. In the example given by Godot, you can see that it have a scene made for the ball object, and in it, it have two nodes, one for the ball sprite and another for the ball collision shape, that will give physics for the ball. And then it have another scene that is composed by a bunch of ball scenes. Basically, the ball becomes the nodes for the main scene, and this is how it looks when executed. In general, it looks like Unity architecture a little, but at least for me, it's way more simple and easy to learn, so points for Godot, I guess. At the third step of the document, you learn how to create your first script, and oh no, is that a high-level language? Alright, so I've never been fond of high-level languages, and the official programming language for Godot is GDScript. That is a high-level language. If you don't know, there is high and low-level languages for programming. A basic way to differentiate them is saying that high-level languages is more of a human-like language, having the syntax more easy to understand and in many times easier to write, while low-level languages get closer to how a machine would understand. So high-level language is better, right? Not necessarily. You see, since low-level approaches more computer-like vocabulary, you can get more control on what you want your code to do, in exchange of having a more complex and bigger code, of course. And the thing is, I've been programming in low-level language since I've learned how to program, so I'm not very confident on starting learning a whole different language that is very different from every programming language that I ever used. But fortunately, Godot lets you program with C# as well, just like Unity. Whew. So I followed the documentation, coded in C# to make this icon spin around infinitely. Yay! But hey, why not try to make the same thing in GDScript, just to see how it is?
You know what?
Oh, damn it. I think I really like GDScript. With it, I made this other icon to spin beside the C# one. Look! I mean, it's unfair to compete with GDScript when the whole engine was designed to function with it. I mean, there is a lot of functions you can do with it inside the own engine, while in C# you will need another tool just to write the code outside the engine. One thing that I really liked about GDScript is how you can easily use signals that connect with other elements, enabling you to create things like this button that is connected with the icon and tell him if he can move or not. After this, I made so you can control the icon using GDScript as well. So I guess I surrender. I'll be using GDScript from now on. You win this one again, Godot! To end the Godot tutorial, I've made this very simple game called Dodge the Creeps. I think that everyone that used Godot have made this game at some point. This is how it looks. It's very simple, but it's fun. After finishing this tutorial, I decided to mess around with the engine to learn more about it. So I got the hero from my finished game and I tried to make him move around. And then I started to mess with the Godot animator, and I have to say, I'm really impressed with the animator. I had a lot of problems with Unity animator in the past. And when I decided to learn a whole new animator system, I was scared. But even though Godot animator seems more complex, I was surprised to see how easy to learn it was. The function that impressed me the most was the blend space 2D, where you can define the movement of a character depending on the direction that they're going. This is not required to make animations though. The sprites that I had to work with was not in the correct format for this to work, but I managed to make it work in another way. Either way, learning this blend space 2D was awesome. Another thing that I learned was how to make the tile map. This is not unique to Godot since Unity have this function as well, but I found it way easier to make auto tiling in Godot. You can also do auto tiling in Unity, but it's way harder in my opinion, so much that I didn't even did it on my game. But doing it in Godot was a piece of cake. This is what I've learned about Godot so far, but I have to say, I'm having a lot of fun with this engine. It really seems that the engine was made specifically by game developers, seeing how facilitated some functionalities was. It's not like I'm going to abandon Unity as well. After all, Unity is also a great engine, and it's also the most popular engine in the market, so it is used in a lot of game dev companies. And this is also a good thing to have in mind. Part of my game dev journey is to work on bigger projects someday, and the chances that I will have to develop in Unity are very big. But as I said, the best engine is the one that works better for you. And right now, I'm having fun learning Godot, so I'll definitely be making some projects with Godot as well. But now I'm curious, what do you think? Do you prefer Unity or Godot? And are there any other engines that I should try? Each one that you use, tell me in the comments if you like. So this is it for this video. I think that I need to apologize for the lack of videos in the last 2 weeks. My life has been very busy lately and it's been very hard to find the time to work on videos. And I'll probably will be moving out soon, so I'll have even less time to work on videos in some weeks from now. But I'm not going to stop making them. I'll manage to find the time to work on these videos and on my projects during these busy days. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Leave a like and subscribe to accompany me on my game dev journey. Farewell and see you next time.